Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video. Into the Jacksonville Jaguars are trading for Tim Patrick from the Detroit Lions. The Lions are getting back a 2026 sixth-round pick. I kind of like this trade for the Jaguars. I just feel like they've got a lot of depth at wide receiver already, but this is just adding to Trevor Lawrence's arsenal that he has. I mean, you've got Travis Hunter, you've got Brian Thomas, but how many snaps how many offensive snaps is Hunter going to be available? Is this guy's not going to be able to go out there and play every play defensively and offensively like he was in college. I honestly I look at Travis Hunter, and I'm not going to say he's a bad defender because I don't think he is. But I think that there's so much more talent as a wide receiver than there is a cornerback. I'm sorry. I think as a cornerback, I don't think there is a I don't think there's as much of a potential as a cornerback than there is a wide receiver. I don't even know if he can go as far as being a Pro Bowler as a cornerback, but I feel like he can be as high as All Pro as a wide receiver. That's how much more confident I am in Travis Hunter at the wide receiver position compared to the cornerback position. But we'll see how many snaps he plays. I think he's going to play more snaps offensively, but I don't think he's going to be playing all of the offensive snaps, knowing he's also playing defense. But you've got Brian Thomas, you've got Hunter, you've got Dyami Brown, who the Jags signed from Washington, who I think finished his season very nicely last year with Washington. They've also got Parker Washington, who I think is a nice target that Trevor Lawrence likes. And now you add Tim Patrick. So it's a heavy wide receiver room. That's good for Trevor Lawrence. It really is. I thought he had a wide receiver room with a lot of depth last year to begin last year's season with Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, and also had I'm trying to think, Brian Thomas and Parker Washington last year. So he had good depth last year. Problem was Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk had injury problems. Gabe Davis kind of struggled. Jacksonville's got rid of both of those guys, and they've replaced them with guys like Hunter and Brown, and Washington has gotten more of an expanded role, and now you add in Tim Patrick. So I like what the Jags wide receiver room is this year for Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a huge fan of their defense, though. That's where I think there's going to be more of a problem. Also, Jacksonville, I think, is one of the worst teams in the league at having not great tight end strength. I think that's something Trevor Lawrence is going to miss this year with losing Evan Ingram, having an elite tight end, and so that's something I'm excited to see how he deals with. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on the Jags adding in Tim Patrick, who had 400 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns last year in 16 games, being the wide receiver 3 for the Lions. Patrick came back from a very hard injury last year. He was out the 2 previous seasons with a torn ACL and a torn Achilles. That is really hard to do and come back from. And I thought he played pretty well last year, being the wide receiver 3 in Detroit alongside so many other weapons, still putting up those numbers and coming back from those injuries. So great story last year for Tim Patrick, and now he's on Jacksonville. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.